The next question says, suppose that you have $3,000 to invest. Which investment yields the greater return over a 10-year period? 7.25% compounded daily or 7.3% compounded quarterly? So in this problem, we're going to use a formula for compound interest. This is the formula. A equals P times 1 plus R over N to the NT. Let me go through what each thing stands for. The P is principal or initial amount of money. Your starting amount is the principal. And we have R, that's going to be your rate, your interest rate. We're always going to write this in decimal form. The T is time in years. The N is the number of compoundings in a year. We'll talk about that more in a minute. And then A, that is going to be your accrued amount or your ending amount. So in this question, it says you have $3,000 to invest. That's going to be our principal or initial amount of money. And it's over a 10-year period, so our time is 10 years. And we have two options. We have 7.25 compounded daily or 7.3 compounded quarterly. So for option 1, which is our rate being 7.25%, and remember we're always going to write this in decimal form, so I'm going to move that decimal point over 2 places, and this is compounded daily, and this is how often interest is added. So this is going to tell us that our value of N is 365, because that's how often the interest would be added. Our option 2 is going to be an interest rate of 7.3%. Let's move the decimal point over 2 places to put it in decimal form. And that's compounded quarterly, which means N will be 4. Quarterly is 4 times a year. So what we want to do is use our formula of A equals P times 1 plus R over N to the NT with these 2 different options. So let me erase what all these mean. And let's work out option 1. That's going to be A equals 3,000 times 1 plus 0.0725 over 365 to the 365 times 10 years. We're going to put that in a calculator, and then for option 2, we have 3,000 times 1 plus 0.073 over 4 to the 4 times 10. Okay, so I got my calculator out to type this in. I'm going to type the whole thing in, 3,000 parentheses times 1 plus 0.0725 divided by 365, close parentheses. I need an exponent. Some of you have older calculators, may need to type parentheses around this. 365 times 10, close parentheses. The parentheses are to make sure you're putting all of that in the exponent. And enter. And let's see, we've got 6,000, oops. All right, let me fix that. $6,193.75. We're rounding to the nearest cent. Okay, so like I said, that came out to be $6,193.75. But I wanted to show you, just in case you don't have a fancy calculator like this, I'm going to clear this out. And if you don't have a calculator where you can just type that whole expression in, you can still do this. You are going to just need to follow order of operations. So with order of operations, you're going to start on the inside first. You're going to do that division first. Then you're going to add the 1. Exponents come before multiplication, and then we'll finally do that multiplication. So let me show you how to type that. Okay, so we would do 0.0725 divided by 365, enter. Then we're going to add 1, enter. Then we need to do our exponent. And I probably would go ahead and do that multiplication. 365 times 10 would give you 3650. And then finally, you're going to multiply that by 3,000. And you can see we got the same answer, the $6,193.75. Okay, so let's do the same thing with option 2. We've got 3,000 times 1 plus 0.073 divided by 4, close parentheses, exponent, 4 times 10. Oops, I didn't do an exponent. So let me delete this. All right, so then we have exponent, 4 times 10. We get $6,184.41. And since option 1 came out to be a larger amount, that's going to be the better investment. And you would choose 7.25% compounded daily.